Hey guys, how's it going? It's SSR, and I was asked by Jester15X to create a Demon Nature Mastermind, so let's go ahead and make one for them. Alright, so I'm going to start by picking the pets first. Obviously, Mastermind, you're going to need your pets, unless you're trying to go for a petless Mastermind. So, alright, so we're going to need regrowth to keep the pets healed. And now, remember, this is all about preference on when you pick your powers. But I tend to pick my travel powers a little bit earlier. So at this level I usually take my travel power at level 4, which I'm going to take super jump. Alright, make sure you get enchant demon for their buffs. Their upgrades I should say. At level 8 I'm going to take wild growth for the resistance buffs. Alright, at level 10 I'm going to go with hasten. And then summon your tier 2 pet. Summon demons. And at 14, combat jumping. I'd like to finish that pull off. Next, I'm going to take Lifegiving Spores. Let's go with Hell on Earth. And at 20, Wild Bastion for the heals. And some Absorb. Alright, next I'm going to start with the leadership powers, the maneuvers. And I'll also start working on the fighting pool. And get that Demon Prince. Good on that. Let's go ahead and actually get a crack whip. Normally I don't take attacks on masterminds because your pets are going to be doing everything and you're going to be buffing or debuffing whenever you're using a mastermind, you know, to keep your pets alive or debuffing the enemies. So, but in this build we're going to get crack whip. It's going to help with debuffing and doing a good amount of damage. Alright, at level 30 I'm going to take tough. Get the other pet upgrade, Abyssal Empowerment. Alright, at level 35, I tend to take the Patron Armors. They give an extremely good increase in your resistance or defense. And I'm going to be going with Charged Armor because most of the late game is energy damage. So I'm going to go with that. It gives a good amount of smashing lethal and energy resistance. And also, eventually we're going to go for Electrifying Fences. So. Alright, level 38, Overgrowth. And then 41, Electrifying Fences. 44, I'm going to go finally for Weave. 47, Spore Cloud. It's just to give a little bit more resistance since it does negative damage and also makes it harder for them to hit you. So it's almost like adding defense as well. And then finally, Tactics to increase the accuracy of your pets. Okay, now we picked all the powers. I'm gonna slot everything and then I'll explain what we're gonna put what. Alright guys, so we pretty much put all the slots where it needs to go. I'm gonna explain why I slotted what for as many slots as I did, but now I'm gonna put some enhancements in. Alright, so obviously the pets, you're gonna have the 6 slot. Very rarely do you ever not 6 slot pets, but we're going to try to chase some good buffs and set bonuses, alright? Because we want to get this Hell on Earth as close to perma as possible. 600 seconds is pretty hard to drop down to 90 seconds, but we're going to try, alright? First, what I like to normally do to get some recharge, I like to separate the Superior Mark of Supremacy sets into 2s. If you split them into 2s, you get the 10% recharge for every 2 set. So let's go after that. Alright, for the Demonlings, I'm gonna go for the accuracy endurance or the damage endurance and the accuracy endurance one. Alright, for the demons, this is for the 2 set. I prefer to give them the accuracy damage and accuracy damage endurance. And then the Demon Prince, I'm just going to give him the damage and the resistance buff. Alright, so that right there gave us 30% extra recharge onto our base. Okay. Next, I'll probably go with the next set, and usually the command of the Mastermind I usually put on the second tier pet. So, and I'm gonna go with the accuracy damage recharge, as much accuracy damage as I can get, and then also the pet defense aura. Okay. Alright, that gives you the recharge, and that's 4 sets right there. And then you can also try to go after your 5th set, which I'm going to do by slotting electrifying fences with Immobilize. You could also go Ragnarok if you want for more damage. That's up to you. So feel free to slot it for either Ragnarok or the Gravitational Anchor. I like to go after the hold proc, so I'm going to go with the hold. Remember, try not to put any recharge into this power. At least amount of recharge as possible. Because remember, the more recharge you have in a power, the less proc rate that you'll get out of the proc. You want as little recharge as possible, and also a longer cast time. Okay, so there we go. We're at 50 above the normal with the recharge rate. We got all 5 sets, so we don't need to worry about any more purple sets. We're good. For the Demonlings, I'm going to actually slot these 3 slots with the Soulbound Allegiance. I'm going to put the damage endurance, and the build-up proc. That's going to make it happen with each pet, so it's not a bad proc to have. And then finally on this last one, I'm going to put the smashing proc from Impeded Swiftness. It's going to give them a little extra damage on each pet. It's nice because it'll go off on each one of them. Alright, and since I use these 3 Soulbound Allegiance, I'm using it for the HP bonuses, because Masterminds have pretty low HP if you notice, 800. Their cap is 1606, but you want to chase as much for a Mastermind, especially since they're supposed to be kind of like tanky builds. You get the aggro from the enemies and then get attacked. The health spreads out between all the pets. Alright, so once again, we're at Soulbound Allegiance. I'm going to put 3 of the Soulbound Allegiance, only the recharge ones, for Hell on Earth. That should bring the recharge down considerably. 250, not bad. I haven't even activated Hasten yet, so if I do that, 93, not bad. And then I'm going to use the extra slots that I have in there to put some defense bonuses. Resistance one for the last one. Okay. There you go. These 2 procs right here will help the pets. It gives them a little bit more defense and more resistance. And then the Demon Prince. I'm going to slot with 3 slots of the Call to Arms. Let's go for some accuracy damage. See if they got any accuracy. Yeah, there we go. Recharge. And then I'll go for the last one as the proc, the defense proc. And finally, for this, I'm going to actually put in the Unbreakable Constraint damage proc. It's a nice boost of damage for the pet. For regrowth, I'm actually going to slot Preventative Medicine. All 6 bonuses. Gives a good recharge, resistance, some health, and endurance discount. So go ahead and slot all 6 of them. Alright. For Wild Growth, I'm going to chase recharge and resistance. Alright. So let's go with Gladiator's Armor because I want the knockback protection for that. So recharge resistance, recharge endurance, and then for the last one you could probably use the proc. Won't have to worry because this power state is perma with just a couple recharge on it. Look at that. 90-second duration, 79-second recharge. It's great. And your resistances are going to jump like crazy amounts. Alright. That's good. Combat jumping, I'm going to put... Let's start with putting our global recharge, Luck of the Gambler. And if you have any other defense powers, do that as well on all of them. Alright, let's finish out combat jumping. I'm going to put a scaling resistance and a knockback protection. I'll do that as well on super jump. Gotta have that knockback protection. Some people like it, some people don't. That's all up to you. Life-Giving Spore. Gonna chase a little bit more health with efficacy adapter. Alright, we're gonna put an Nmod and a, there we go, Nmod endurance. And here I'm actually gonna put some numinous. Heal endurance, heal, and the regeneration recovery proc. Wild Bastion. This one I'm gonna use Doctor's Wounds. 5 sets give you recharge, increased heal, and some smashing lethal resistance. So let's do that. Alright, not bad. Recharge on it is pretty good. The absorb on it is going to stay on for 60 seconds. Mind you, the power recharges in 69 seconds, but 60 seconds is a good enough time to wait for 9 seconds for the absorb to come back. Alright, with maneuvers, let's put some shield walls on there. Alright, make sure you put the proc in there. Get that extra resistance. And I'm going to skip Crack Whip for now. Let's go to Tough. We're going to put Titanium Coating. If you notice, your resistance is already getting close to 75% cap. Now we're going to go on to Charged Armor. For Charged Armor, I'm going to go for Unbreakable Guards. 4-piece. Make sure you get the health proc in there. It gives you some endurance discount, energy resistance, and a little bit of defense. And look at that, already at capped resistance. Alright, oh, and on this one I'm going to put the Steadfast Protection for the resistance defense. Increase your defense more. Overgrowth, there wasn't really a set I could chase except for maybe Gaussians, but I feel like it's not worth it. You don't need to build up proc for yourself, your pets need the damage, so I just put more recharge on it. You can put 2 of them and try to put them at +5. It's almost perma, only 15 seconds off. Alright, with Weave, put some more shield walls in there. Three sets for more HP. Yeah, we're doing good on HP. Spore Cloud, you know, some people told me it's not a very good power, and I agree, it's not an amazing power, but it could help with making your resistance better. You're capped at 75, but if you lower their damage, it's like increasing your resistance even higher. Alright? So, for this one, I actually put in Dark Watchers. We're going to put a 2-hit debuff. 2-hit debuff endurance, recharge. Endurance, just to get a little bit more endurance out of it. And 2-hit. Alright. There you go. And a little extra 5% recharge from it. Recovery and HP. Not bad. Tactics, I like to always put a Cytoskeleton. But you can also put a endurance reduction. It's up to you. Cytos are expensive, so if you don't want to pay for those, then go for it. Put that. Crack Whip. Finally, I'm going to put a Nucleolus. An endurance discount, because this thing is ridiculously expensive to use. And then we're going to actually use it as our proc monster. So feel free to put some nice juicy procs in there. Smash. And I didn't want to go for the lethal because lethal is one of the most resistant attack types. So try not to slot in lethal if you cannot escape from it. I went for smashing. Smashing is the second most. Fire, energy, and a resistant debuff. And Crack Whip will also reduce their resistance by 9.38%. So make sure you use corrosive enzymes too, because that drops their resistance to 18% by 18% as well. Alright. Alright, in health, we're going to put a Miracle. And finally the Panacea. For stamina, the usual slotting, Nmod recharge, and the performance proc for a chance of plus end, and the power transfer health. It's a nice health boost, and it protects you, especially if you don't have healing. You could take that slot and put it somewhere else if you want, since you have so many heals and everything, but I just prefer to keep it on there. Alright, let's make sure we turn our accolades on. going to turn Freedom Flanks, Portal Jockey, Task Force Commander, and Atlas Medallion. Now if you notice, our HP increased even further. It's almost impossible to get to HP cap, which is again 1606. So don't even stress about it that much, it's alright. As long as you can get it pretty high like this, it's not that bad. And finally the Incarnates. For this one, this build, I really thought maybe it might be a little bit of an endurance hog. So I went for Radial, get a little bit more damage. Your pets are going to get the Radial damage as well. Increase your run speed, and get a little bit more debuff for your Spore with the 2-hit debuff. Alright. Destiny, I like to pick Incandescence Radio. That's just one of my preferences. And it helps with the pets for stealth and everything. Judgment, feel free to pick whichever one you want. I like Ion Core. Hybrid, this one I definitely suggest Support Core, because it increases the amount you increase your pet bonuses. This one actually doubles the pet. If you notice right here, it says this boost is double in strength for pets. So I would take Core. Interface, unless you notice a lot of people on your team have it, I'd go with Reactive Radial Flawless. If a lot of people on your team have it, 5 or more, then you could go Degenerative. Go with Radial for the toxic damage. Alright, and then Banish Pantheon Core, because the Core one does more debuffs and it does more damage. Alright, so we're pretty much slotted. Everything's good. Our defenses are not amazing, but we're going to be alright with the resistance. We have heals to cover us. Our pets are going to keep them busy. We have electrifying fences to keep crowd control in case they try to run away. So now we just go in and start fighting. Alright? Make sure the rotation I'll show you when we get inside the game to see what attacks we're going to be using. Alright guys, we got everything slotted up. Everything's pretty much exactly what I have on the build. Our buffs and our health, they pretty much match what's on here. You know, Life-Giving Spore, if I turn that on, it should increase even more on my recovery end. HP the same, resistance pretty much all the same. My defense is a little bit higher is because in mids they automatically turn Support Core on. Alright. Let's go in there and test this out. Alright, so I made macros. If you noticed, I have 2 of the Spore and Life-Giving Spore icons on here. These 2 are macros that I created. It'll make it so that these spawn on top of whoever I target. It'll be easier than having to click these whenever I want. Alright, so what I like to do is put Life-Giving Spore on the ground. Spawn those 2 over there. So if in case I need to, I can stand right on top of them. Activate Wild Growth. And also Overgrowth to keep your pets healed. And Wild Bastion. Keep the Absorb up. Make sure you spam the Electrifying Fences. And activate Crack Whip whenever you get a second. That power alone is going to kill most of the stuff around. So there you go, if you noticed. Went pretty well. You can make your pets focus whatever you want. Try to keep Life-Giving Spore near you if you can. Like I said, I like to keep it whoever I target. And then I put Spore Cloud on one of the lieutenants most of the time. And I spam Electrifying Fences to keep them in place. Crack Whip to reduce their resistance and do a little bit damage because of all the procs. Look at that. And spam your heal to keep your pets alive. Now when these 3 powers come back, just click them as soon as you can near your pet. And they should be okay after that. And there you go. So try to hit your 3 attacks whenever possible. But make sure you buff your pets as well. And and see if you can make them focus one target to kill things faster. Better that way. If you're worried about endurance, turn off sprint. Otherwise, your endurance should be fine. As long as you stand on top of Life-Giving Spores, your endurance will be great. And there you go, that's pretty good. But alright, let's go try to fight the elite boss. Okay. So, we're going to start by using first Spore Cloud on Inferno. And funny enough, I actually forgot to mention when I was fighting the last mob, guys, make sure you use Hell on Earth. It'll give you a little extra few pets and some damage boosts on your pets. So, I'm going to start by using Hell on Earth first. Then I'll activate Spore. Now, if you want to go near them, I would say stand right next to them. Summon everything. Activate all your powers when you can. Buff up. Now, if you're worried about damage, just heal up. And make sure you debuff when you can. Otherwise, spam those powers. I'm gonna kill around Inferno first, because I hate having to handle all these mobs, so. If you're worried about too much of your pets dying, they're kind of spread out, so make them come near you. Spam your heals. Resummon any pets you lost. Because you will sometimes, when you have this many of a group, especially with an elite boss in the middle, it might cause a little bit of an issue. But otherwise, you should be alright. Spam those attacks. Make sure you try to stay under Life-Giving Spores to keep your endurance alright. Activate Wild Bastion. Overgrowth when you can. Make your pets target a specific person if you need to. Look at Inferno, he's almost dead already. Here, let's focus on this Demon Lord real quick. And there you go. Alright, keep attacking. And you should be good to go. Not bad, guys, not bad. Try to keep those resistance debuffs going as much as possible. And there you are. That was awesome. Able to fight everything, and I know you lost a pet here and there, but just resummon when you can. Alright, guys. If you like what you see, please comment down below. Let me know what you think of the build. If you have any suggestions, or if you think, hey, maybe we could do something a little bit better, please let me know. And I hope you like the build. It'll be down in the description. And once again, please like and subscribe, guys.